I'm sorry, some Waconia taken back into practice and poured there.
All right, we'll call the council meeting to order at 7:02 PM and rise for pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Move on to item 3, public comment period. Is anybody here for public comment? Holly here for public comment. Holly, I think you're here. Yes,
Yeah.
all right,
Diane said I was gonna be down on the agenda, so took me by surprise.
gotcha.
I'm representing the Sibley County Historical Society again. We're getting ready for the county fair. Last year, Green Isle was featured as the town because we had at one time had a 1800 voting booth from New Auburn, and so we had a voting, so they could vote in the voting booth. And they voted on which town they liked the most, so we've been featuring the towns, and last year was Green Isle town featured. But we're asking again for participation, because this year we'd like to feature town teams. So we were asking each of the towns to go back in their little histories in some way and maybe find some old uniforms, trophies. I know there used to be a whole gang of trophies here. And represent your town. We'll have a table ready for you. And just so that we can kind of think, what kind of teams did you feature? Did you have bowling? Did you have besides Little League? And we know what we got, our baseball team and everything. But just pick up things, and as a historical society, we feel very conscious about representing towns every time we can. And having participation a little more so that everybody gets a chance to show off at our museum and not just think that it's what's in Henderson.
Mhm.
Because it's all about the county and we like to represent the county totally. So I talked with Diane the other day, and it would be up to someone in your community to gather a few things and get a table of display ready for us. And have a little bit of history about your town teams. I guess I would like to be contacted if you really want to do that, so we can count on you in some way. It doesn't have to be super elaborate, but it can be just lots of fun to bring out. Diane's got some uniforms for us. I got a picture of a 1938 basketball team. So just some things that we've put together. Like to have some participation from Green Isle if possible.
And when would you need that by, Holly?
Well, the county fair is the end of the month. And I know I'm late. I fell behind on a whole bunch of things this month, and
No,
So
that's
I'm-
okay.
we get together on Wednesday, beginning of the fair. And we just work during the day, but we know there's not a lot of activity until later in Wednesday night. So we would have all day Wednesday. Tuesday, we get the room ready. Wednesday, we would invite you to just bring your table in and have a little bit of fun and say, hello, Green Isle, here I am.
Perfect. Thank you, Holly.
Yeah.
Move on to item 4, approval of the agenda. Does anybody have any additions? I just have one other update on the cameras for everybody.
Just got one.
Sean with one.
Nothing.
Perfect. Diane?
Nothing.
All right, Ed?
Nope.
Perfect. I'll make a motion to approve the agenda with the addition.
Second.
Motion in a second. Oh, go ahead.
The
Amy.
resolution 2024-13 to add.
Good catch. Yes, we have 2024-12. We'll put that under 8E. We'll add that 2024-13. And with those two additions, then I'll amend and I'll make a motion to approve the agenda with those two additions. Sean, you still second?
Yes, sir.
All right, motion in a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. And that carries. Move on to item 5, approval of the consent agenda items A and B. And we'll have to, yes, we will have to do those separate for this meeting. So we'll move forward with approval of the minutes from June 25th.
So movement approval of the consent agenda, part A, approval of the minutes for June 25th, 24 meeting. I'll second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
I'll
Opposed?
abstain. I was
And-
not here.
Perfect, and one abstain. Now we'll move on to B, approval of the claims from July 9th totaling $74,766.14.
One question. Building inspection support, that's just something that always happens, or is that has something to do with what? Right there. First one.
That's Mr. Haslip's fees, and that's,
State inspections.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Yep.
it's,
No, good question.
this year, I'm sure he's gonna keep doing it quarterly, because there are so many, we're at 160 permits this year.
Okay.
Typically, he does it maybe at the end of the year, because it isn't that many, but just to stay on
Busy
track,
year.
it's easier, yeah,
Yeah,
All right.
that's
no,
perfect.
good question.
I'll make a motion to approve the claims for July 9th.
I'll second it.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye, opposed, same sign. That carries. Moving on to item 6, City Attorney Ken Jansen.
I'll give a kind of an update on, so I see I've got the nuisance stuff here. No, Mr. Rhodey, we've had some contacts with him as of late. And he's been making some progress, so I'm
Excellent.
happy to report that. He tells me that he has been working with a potential buyer, hopefully that goes through. But it looked like in the pictures he sent me and I drove by it, it looks like he's actually pulled out the storage unit from where it was situated. He's emptying it out, so it looks like he's making some efforts to get that thing out of there, so hopefully that'll be gone in the next coming weeks. And it sounds like the tiny home is also gone as well.
Yes, yep.
So we're making some progress on that front. The dog nuisance, there's been numerous reports that have finally made their way up to me from the sheriff's department. The complaints are gonna go out, so there's just been a holdup on getting the charges into the. So we gotta go through the BCA system to charge things out. It's a little bit, takes a little time with getting ordinances in there. So that should be coming here pretty darn quick. I don't know, I haven't seen any blights or any of that stuff come my way yet, I guess. Where we're
The
at.
sheriff's department has a couple of them. And then I've asked people to do a second view.
Okay.
Or check or review
Recheck,
or whatever,
yeah.
recheck, and then moving forward, but there are 2 of them specific. That the sheriff's department has right now.
So I would expect if it's at that point that I should be getting stuff presumably soon. And then I can get going on those complaints as need be. Just keep on top of that stuff. Obviously, we put off the pedal, then things start to go awry as we have kind of seen in the past. But yeah, I guess that's all I really got on the nuisance front update.
Fine. Anything else for City Attorney Ken?
Just a comment on the dogs over there for getting to. You know, like, the lady was cutting along, they got a fence between each other. And that lady would literally, you know, she gets close to the fence there and I see her through my office window there and she would literally have to stop and then freeze, you know, and I think it's just right at the fence there, it just keeps barking. Then he comes out there makes the dog with a collar, lets her cut, and then lets the dog go. It's just something just not connected, that's all I'm saying. Sure.
Perfect. Anything else? All right, thank you, sir. Move on to 7, handicap access to city office building.
I believe that this was on the agenda several months ago, and I don't know if we talked about moving forward, if there's grants. I had someone comments on the same situation, do not have it accessible enough.
Probably
Yes.
looking for a button
Yes,
or
they
something
are.
to open up both
Yes, they
doors.
are. Yeah.
We do have that in mind as we monitor for grants, and Amy would probably let us know if something comes through. Now, if we rebuild, I know that has to be an inclusion in there, but right now, I don't know how that would be set up, but that's something that we can think about in the future for as we plan budgeting, so.
Hmm.
That's about it on it, right?
Right, I
Okay.
did mention that
Just an
we,
update.
you know, discuss it at council.
Excellent.
It'll
Perfect. Thank you
probably
very
just
much.
stay on there for right now.
Yeah,
Are there, so kind of the major thing is just getting a button on there.
just a button.
Something to open up
Exactly.
the door is what we're pushing for.
Yes,
Moving on to item 8, EDA planning and zoning updates.
That you take the building inspection and Excel Energy.
I certainly will, yeah. So with Green Isle Community School former, the building inspection that is still underway, he's to be reaching out to the city with some tentative dates so he can get in there and do a general inspection is what he's going to do, and then respond in writing to the council and city attorney Ken Jansen with his findings, which will be helpful prior to any future lease, and we'll know the condition of the building. So he can't do a daycare inspection because they actually have to be part of the Minnesota Department of Health licensure that the daycare requests. So they can't, like, in theory, use our inspection as a means for their licensing. I discovered that talking to the inspector, so he can just do a general for us as a city, which is okay. If they're leasing the building or renting it, I should say, they'll still have to have their own Department of Health inspection, so. Otherwise, more to come on that. Hopefully it will happen within a week or two. And then XL Energy, we did put in a request for a new service order to get power back on inside the building. The one thing we're waiting to hear back on is, do we set it up as a new account? Because I think that was under Green Isle Community School, the XL building itself. So we set it up for City of Green Isle, and that was late last week, and with the holidays, we should hear something, I hope soon. If not, we'll give them a call tomorrow. So we do have some progress, and I know City Clerk Treasurer Diane, she's working on the alarm system component as well, and rekeying.
rekey, they did it today.
Perfect. So
It's
rekeying is
done.
done now too.
Yes.
So all master copies will be on file here at City Hall. That's all I have.
Pick up with the resignation, Scott Voss submitted his resignation to the EDA at our last EDA meeting. Everybody said some kind words.
Mhm.
It is sad to see him go. He's been on the EDA a long time, and he had he has a lot of building knowledge and experience. And he did talk to me just the other day and said if I had any questions, I could still feel free to reach out to him.
Perfect.
He's very knowledgeable. Then I'll move on to C, the 2023 annual planning and zoning reports. I was not the planning and zoning administrator for most of 2023, but I just summarized the minutes from last year. Put them together for their 2023 annual reports. It was approved at the Planning and Zoning Commission. Hopefully everybody's had a chance to look at it. Does anyone have questions about the annual report?
That means you did good.
Does that need to be approved?
Yeah, can we get a motion to approve that?
I'll make a motion to approve the 2023 annual planning and zoning report.
I'll second.
A motion and a second. Any further discussion on that? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. That carries.
Okay. Resolution 2024-12 was approved by the Planning and Zoning Commission the conditional use permit for Josh Shower's federal firearm license. He was here, we held a public hearing as well already at planning and zoning, we had no one show up. There were a few questions about it, I believe, to Diane and to the mayor. But nobody filed any emails,
No.
any letters, anything. So 2024-13 is the council resolution. That basically follows the planning and zoning resolution, all the same things. It has the legal description in for the county. That's the one that will need to be filed with the county recorder. So whoever, after that one is approved by council, someone will need to get it over to Kathy at the recorder's office, file that.
Do you want my office to do that, or I guess do you generally handle that?
I've done it a couple times, but not typically, so whatever.
Ideally, if the office could do it on your end, I know that's historically, that's what we try to
Yeah.
push, so we know that it's official, it's been handled by the firm, so that'd be wonderful.
Yeah,
You
we
get
can
that working.
certainly get the executed copy if it's
Yeah,
approved.
Yeah, yes, thank you, thank you.
Right. Well, we will move forward to getting these approved, Amy, unless you had anything else to add on those two. Perfect. All right, so roll call vote with this. I'll make a motion to approve resolution number 2024-12.
Second.
Perfect, motion and a second. Any further discussion? All right, council. members? Yes, Mark? I'm a yes.
Yes.
And Ed's, all right, and that carries. And we'll move on for resolution 2024-13, which will be approving a conditional use permit for that same facility at 230 Henry Street.
That was that one.
What's that?
That was that one.
Oh, that was that one. Never mind, you say the same thing.
Well,
When is the planning and
Oh, yeah, the planning and zoning one. Yep.
Yep.
we're golden.
13 is the.
13 is the actual one. Perfect.
Correct.
All right,
I will, resolution number 24-13.
and I will second. Any further discussion? Perfect, and another roll call vote.
Yes.
Mark,
Yes.
Diane,
Yes.
yes, and I'm a yes, and that carries. Anything else on those two, Amy? We have, anybody have questions for Amy regarding EDA planning and zoning? Thank you, Amy. We'll move on to item 9, park board update.
I just have two things. We are planting some trees at the Veterans Park through a gift from Dan Daffenbach. There'll be 3 evergreen trees from him, and then there'll be a linden shade tree, which comes from a gift from the family for Kim Schwick, the family from New York that she met, is putting that tree there. So they're going to be planted on August 5th. And we've looked to make sure that they're far enough from the curb and all that stuff for the corner for people to turn, so. I think, do you have any questions on that? Okay, and that should help our park on that side a little bit, so it's over on the south. I'm so bad, that's north, that's south, yeah, southwest corner. And so that should help the park even look better. And then our concert series, we have a concert at the baseball park on Sunday and at the Veterans Park on Wednesday this next week. And then at the end of the month on July 28th, we have another concert at the Veterans Park. So I think that's all I have on parks. Oh, I think the archery park is, I think it's dried out down there from what I hear.
Yep.
We're going to be putting that back up here relatively soon. I think that's it.
And then for the, so these must be two new donations to the park board. I assume we'll have to make a resolution for those, correct?
Yeah, we don't have the checks yet.
Okay.
But they're coming in,
They come.
so we'll have to
Perfect.
do that.
Any questions regarding park board updates? We'll move on to 10 vacant positions. Want me to lead the way?
Shane, I'm sorry.
Yes, go ahead.
We are having a park board meeting this Thursday.
This Thursday, okay.
So we haven't had one for a while, so I'll be
Perfect.
bringing that information back at our next meeting.
Yes, vacant positions under 10 with Scott Boss leaving with the EDA, that does open up a position. And we have two more that we still need to fill. We've been doing some business with, obviously, a lot of action items EDA has had lately. It'd be hard to put somebody in the middle of it all. So now I think we're at a good point to start advertising for that. And so, God, how long was it? A few months ago, we drafted a nice form for any interested citizen, business owner to draft, just explain the reason for it, and we'll try to select people from that. I know we have one planning and zoning. I don't know of any others that we have for a vacancy at this point for committees. Do you know of any? Is there one? I'll have to double check that too. I was wondering if we had one vacancy or not. Is it 5 only on that one? I was trying to remember what we did with Bill back then.
So.
Okay, so we're golden. All right. So then EDA is all we have, so keep an eye out for that. We'll be posting, and I don't know of any other committees that need more members at this point. We're all okay?
Okay.
Perfect.
Shade tree.
And we do need the tree committee as well, so we're gonna try to get more members for that, so we can have a meeting. And that would be a kickoff meeting, would it not?
Correct.
Yes. So that's part of Green Isle trying to become a tree city. So we do have to have the tree committee. So if you know anybody interested, just keep monitoring online on the city website. We'll have something posted for that soon. And then 11, Pattison Sand update. Well, did they pay last month?
They paid June,
They paid June.
yes.
So I did call Pattison Sand last week and they did provide us with whatever we want for rock out there outside of the riprap. So I think People Service was running out there and they were getting it all. Is that their intention? Whatever is
Correct.
left. So
Right.
then they don't have any more cleanup outside of the riprap.
Right, there is a sign out there indicating this is city property. Keep out.
My understanding, Pattison Sand, the reason they're not out by the end of June is a lot of the product comes out of Henderson that they need to move and get up here to get it. And with the flooding, they've been unable to do so. So if the riprap is not gone in the next few days, we will be giving them another call and requesting payment for July. And then my thoughts would be to request a new lease if they're just gonna leave rock here for long periods of time, because I hate operating without some sort of agreement in place.
Where they are storing it in Cologne, they're trying to put a road in, they can't because of how wet it is, and they got a lot of stuff there in the road. Might not let them be coming in from town. Yeah, they're trying to put a road in coming from the east, so the tracks to get material where they got stashed, so yeah, they're having headaches in Cologne.
A lot of business delays then. So, we'll reach out to them and secure payment and probably we'll work on a new agreement if they can't vacate by the end of this month. But I hate that we've kept extending it at this point, so. Any other questions for Pattison Sand? I'm grateful for the product we can use out at compost and beyond. It's free, so you can't go wrong. And then item 12 for other, just a camera update. We will be getting those finished up out at the compost site. RS Fiber is going to be working with the camera installer to put up a internet first, then he'll be burying the fiber line or network line to make it happen. So that's coming to a close for us as well. And Sean, you had something?
Well, I actually got two now. Do we have to address this other piece of paper you gave us?
Yeah, I'm gonna address that after
Okay.
we're all done here.
And then the other thing is that what I'm thinking also kind of coincides with maybe some of this. If we do, I guess, if you're gonna address this, I can wait till you address this, and I can give you my comments.
Well, I can address it quick, is that we did get a written public comment, essentially, if that's what we want to call it, that has been forwarded to the EDA to review, and then Amy will decide when that gets brought up with the EDA commission. However, it's an anonymous letter, so it is for the council's review, just to read. It's not out there in the public, but certainly part of our package, just as an FYI, so everybody's got a heads up on it. This came very late in the week, unnamed, and just information only for the council. And EDA has a copy, so carry on, it's all you.
Okay, after the last council meeting, I was thinking to, if we would let Emmanuel go into the school and do their lease. And we pick up the tab for the remainder, isn't that almost a better better option than for us to pay for the whole thing without anybody kind of being in there. Maybe we'd be able to handle longer than the 6 or 8 months we were originally talking about. That was my thought after the meeting, and I thought about it for a while. I just wanted to bring it up. That's-
Trying to understand. So,
If there's nobody in there, and then we were talking about paying up everything for
Mhm.
6 to 8 months. We're footing the whole bill,
Mhm.
but if they're actually in there for a little bit, and then we're only making up the difference. We're not doing the full 8,000.
mhm,
So
Correct.
that's what I'm thinking at, is that if they would be in there, it's better for us that we're not doing the full 8,000, and maybe we could do longer than 6 months, because we're not paying out it all, the 8,000, maybe squeeze another month or two out of that.
Yeah, and with the EDA vote, a recommendation to move it forward with the up to 6 month, what would happen at that point is that it would go back to the EDA for another recommendation after that 6 months has lapsed.
Okay.
And so it'll all come back up again, but there is a little bit of cost savings for the city over the next 6 months with somebody potentially leasing that building. Additionally, it's a lot better to have a potential tenant look at the facility with it all being empty. And I think that's real estate 101 is you always want it to look lived in, right? So somebody will be inside that facility, which does help.
That's all I had.
Perfect. And that's all I had. Anything else? Well, move on to item 13. I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Opposed, same side. And meeting adjourned at 7:29.
You're right. It was a question.
Not too sure. I gotta close our Zoom here. It doesn't like me.
So I wasn't on the line.